So, Lindsay, you actually call yourself kind of a self-proclaimed introverted mom, introverted wife, but you've also been a child life specialist for a while now. Why in the world would you go ahead and actually move into this new place when you already have a great practice, you're already taking care of kids, you're taking care of these situations? Why move into this ministry?
Yeah, that was a question I asked God because I didn't want any part of this. I do have a successful private practice. I have been supporting vulnerable children my entire career, 22 years inside of a children's hospital before
Wow.
moving into private practice, where I work primarily with children of adult patients. Many times the adults are sick with a very serious illness, a life altering injury, or we're actually anticipating the death of that parent in this child's life. I do a lot of grief work with kids on the other side of that death. I love the work that I do. Not everybody could say that. I'm wired to be an advocate for people. I'm wired to step into crisis. I'm wired to be this calm presence in that
Yeah.
place. That is just how God built me. My whole career, I've had people say, "How could you do that? That must be so hard." And while it is hard, it's I can't not do it. Like I have been a voice to the voiceless, to children in medical environments for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I I stepped out of the hospital environment. That's another story about me standing up in front of a giant that we may actually talk about a little bit today. But I stood up to this giant, stepped out of that. God told me to build a private practice, and I did, and it's thriving and flourishing. And so when God started percolating in my heart a ministry that could help people who had been harmed or abused in the church, I was like, who are you talking to? Because I I can't do both. I'm a person, and I also still want to be available for my family, right? I want to be available to just, live my normal life, and I don't want to have a ministry. That was never something that was I was interested in. I did not intend ever to have a podcast where we spoke about these difficult things. And and God, he wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't let it go. So I really am in this place state, Steve, because I'm just walking in obedience. And
Yeah.
God brought me to a place where, in order to obediently follow Him, that meant that I was going to need to engage in some things that other people might perceive as disruptive.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah. And in our conversations, we've known you for many, many, many years. My wife is best friends with your sister, so we've seen your heart over the years. We know that this isn't just some, hey, let's jump on the bandwagon of death and destruction of the church. Let's rip down the church. Let's flip some tables. And there is some flipping of the tables, but what flipping of the tables doesn't mean is setting a nuclear bomb off in the church and decimating the entire thing, right? So
No.
there is a healthy way to approach this. And correct me if I'm wrong, what I see is your heart is not that the pendulum would swing from total grace, total dismissal of problems to persecute everybody, but we need to actually get this pendulum to swing back in the middle where, yes, there is grace, but there's also accountability.